$1,200, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Viewers of this channel continue to get big money from big stimulus, and it's not from Congress. It's not from Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson will give you, 5 M&Ms and say, here's some 5 Tic Tacs. 5 Tic Tacs survived to December of 2045 with 5 Tic Tacs. That's Ron Johnson's idea. Well, I'm giving viewers big money, and that's from states, cities, and counties. And it's not always from the city itself. It's sometimes from private charities. It's sometimes from housing authorities. It's sometimes from utility companies. In this video, I'm going to go over how to get that money. I'm also going to focus on how to get rid of Ron Johnson. There's so much development about your second stimulus check today and the stimulus across the state and local. I'm so glad you joined me. A lot of breaking developments, and this is the 6:30 edition of Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LALATE, the 6:30 edition. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and Ron Johnson's brain has left his body. I don't need Nancy Pelosi hairstyle jokes anymore because now I just have Ron Johnson. It's just, he's wearing red, for the month of December. Well, actually, he's wearing the red for every month of the entire year because, that's what they wear when the devil. But, Ron Johnson is that senator yesterday who said no one needs a stimulus check and that, you need just to sort of tough it up and just, homelessness will make you a better person, and eviction will just make you, become a man, and poverty, that's a good thing. You learn the value of Bitcoin when you're. Ron Johnson's the most despicable human being that's ever served in Congress, and he is probably going to be on Saturday Night Live tonight. Not him himself, just the parody of him. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe because I'm keeping you informed, keeping you lighthearted, keeping you positive, keeping you focused, and I'm getting you money, not like Ron Johnson. Also like this video, it really helps in the algorithm rankings. And this is an instant premiere. If you're just tuning in for the first time at 6:30 a.m., you're like, what is this show about? It's an instant premiere. It features a live chat over there, so you can chat about me, you can chat about Ron Johnson, you can chat about whether including him on your Christmas lists or including him on some other type of list. But with that, there's so much breaking across this morning. I'm so glad you're here, and now let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you see here this morning is that throughout Saturday and Sunday, you're going to see major developments on your second stimulus check. There is no deal, there is no bill, there is no agreement, there is no determination of when they're going to vote. They are working on. They're working. Every time I say that, I have to pause because they're not really working. They're working Saturday and Sunday. And so unlike other Saturdays and Sundays where the best I could pull for you for quotes are, someone appearing on Saturday morning news or Chuck Todd or something, saying, I hate Nancy. That's the best you can get a quote. Oh, they're going to be grandstanding as much as they can grandstand today because those book deals are open. They're trying to get those book deals and they're going to say, I don't like your bill. I don't like your bill. Oh, I'll sign off on it. Yeah, just don't tell anyone. I gotta get that book deal first. And that's what they did yesterday. Whether it was Hawley or Sanders or AOC, they folded all like lawn chairs after 10 seconds after they said they were going to do something else. The good news is that there's money for cities and states and counties, and let's get to them right now. Maine, $600, Colorado, $375, New Mexico, $1,200, Oregon, $500, North Carolina, $335, Houston City, $1,200, Austin, $2,000, Orange had $1,000 on 2 days ago and did $1,200 twice before. Jacksonville did $1,000. Nome, Alaska has something as well now. Pending Pennsylvania, pending New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, and Delaware. Escambia, Fort Worth, and Gadsden County. Duval did something in April. These stimuluses are They're all over the place. When you're thinking about state stimulus checks, I don't want you to think about these that I just mentioned. And the reason why is because they're so small. I mean, yeah, some of them are 2,000, some of them are 1,200, but the vast majority of state stimulus checks are small, $300. That's the first thing. Some of them have restrictions that may exclude you. Some of them are just for the unemployed people. Third, some of them may have already been issued. Some of them may have had an application window. And as more are announced, I will certainly tell them to you. But the big state stimulus that we talk about on this channel is rent stimulus. Rent stimulus is free rent being given to you by your city, your county, your state, and also private organizations. How do you get this and what is it called? When you're calling or looking online, today's Saturday, so you should be looking online unless you're dealing with a volunteer this channel. More about that in a second. You should be looking on your city's website, your county's website, your county housing authority, or your state housing authority's website. On there, they'll delineate where they have rent assistance. You want to look for the words rent assistance. When you're on the phone next coming Monday and you want to call, you're calling for rent assistance because of COVID. Nothing else. Don't add any extra words in it. Don't make the words complicated. Don't say rent assistance for veterans, rent assistance for SSI. Don't add extra words. When you go those paths, City Hall, County Housing Authority, State Housing Authority, and you look and you think that you've really flushed it out, if you found nothing, then the next thing for rent is to look to the nonprofits. The nonprofits are paying rent everywhere. Ohio, you may look for your government to help have rent stimulus. They don't have it. Guess what? The nonprofits are paying in Ohio. Kentucky, same thing. And then what you want to do is utilities. Utility assistance is the same way. You call up your utility companies, which generally open on the weekend. You say, hey, do you have utility assistance? I need utility assistance because of rent. I'm having problems paying my utility bill because of COVID. Did I say because of rent? I'm having problems paying my utility because of rent. No, I meant to say I'm having problems paying my utility because of COVID. And they're generally all doing it. They're generally all doing this. Here's an example. Missouri, you can get rent assistance throughout much of the entire state, but you can't, that's very hard to find rent from the government or the counties throughout much of Missouri, with the exception of St. Louis County. So that's sort of an example of where we are. The next thing to understand is that after you've done utilities and rent, and you've looked for the city and county, you can't find it, then the next one you should look to are the nonprofits. The nonprofits have really, really done God's work. They are paying rent and you paying utilities in places in which you think they wouldn't. California, for example. California is not giving rent assistance from the state. Some of the counties are. And if you look at Catholic Charities, they paid rent in Northern California. If you look at Community Action, they paid rent in another part of Southern California. And that's the difference, is that you know there's something not there because you've looked. I told you where to look, then there's something there. Then you default to the next thing. And where are those organizations? Who are they? Let me go over them. In Texas, rent was paid to viewers by St. Mary Magdalene. In Kentucky, viewers got rent paid from Community Ministries. New Jersey viewers got rent paid by United Way. Ohio viewers got rent paid by Community Action. Massachusetts viewers got rent paid by Interfaith Social Services. Phoenix viewers got rent paid by TCDC. In Atlanta, they got rent paid by calling 211. In Delaware, they got upwards of $10,000 in rent. In Fort Bend County, Texas, they got rent paid by Catholic Charities. So you see the trend there. There's just a lot of different organizations paying rent in a lot of different places. Let's go to Mississippi. That's one of my favorite examples. Not 1, 2, 3, but 4 different organizations paying rent in Mississippi. I always have someone in the comments say, Mississippi's government's not doing anything. Mississippi's government's not. Well, guess what? Your privates are doing great work in Mississippi. Mississippi rent was paid for a viewer by Mercy House. Another viewer got their rent paid by Home Saver in Mississippi. Another viewer got their rent paid in Salvation Army in Mississippi. Then another viewer got their rent paid by MSHDA Eviction Diversion in Mississippi. Let's look elsewhere. How about some other states? This is all really getting good. In Rhode Island, 2 different organizations, Crossroads Rent, and then Rhode Island Housing Authority. In Texas, multiple organizations, including the one I told you earlier on this recording. In El Paso, Project Bravo paid rent for a viewer. In another viewer in Texas got rent by calling 211. In Delaware, one viewer got paid rent by calling 211. HEAP is paying heating in a lot of places. MilitaryOneSource.mil is helping for things, rent and utilities for viewers. City of Dallas, Texas, which is cityofdallas.com, is paying rent. This is a message from a viewer. They're giving out rent and utility assistance. I got approved last month for rent assistance. Caseworker told me they're still taking new applications, just that was giving you this information. Thank you so much for what you do. Georgia, viewer got paid rent by United Way. Nebraska, viewer got paid rent by United Way. Arizona, viewer got paid rent from New Leaf. Michigan, a viewer got paid rent by Salvation Army. Pennsylvania, viewer got paid rent by United Way. New York, viewer got paid rent by One Shot. Kentucky, viewer got paid rent by Community Action. Las Vegas, viewer got paid rent by Clark County Services. Indiana, viewer got paid rent by IndianaHousingNow.org. And another viewer got rent by calling it 211. It's a lot of really great news there. And then there's places across the country where stimulus has been provided from the cities or counties. It's not always still there. Some of it may expire, but I want you to consider those as well. In Florida, rent was paid by counties to viewers of this channel from Broward County, Miami-Dade, Palm, West Palm, and Orange. Now, I don't know if all of them are still open, but most of them were open just a few days ago. You would go to the county's website and you would see it right on there, rent assistance. Then City of Atlanta, County of Gwinnett, County of DeKalb, lots of counties in Georgia. I can't even recall how many counties in Georgia were doing rent stimulus from the government. Elsewhere, City of Nashville did rent stimulus. New Jersey is doing rent stimulus reportedly. City of Nashville and City of Harrisburg, PA, over on the West Coast. San Diego County was doing it, but that's reportedly closed. So when you're looking for this rent stimulus, food stimulus, state stimulus, how do you do this? Well, your priority should be the rent stimulus, because that's what viewers are getting fortunes. $15,000, $10,000, $20,000, enormous sums of money. When we talk about Congress and their little stimulus check, here's a little $600 stimulus check for you. When we talk about states, here's a little $300 stimulus check. Ultimately, some states do have big stimulus checks, others don't. I don't want you to sit back and wait for the stimulus check that may never come. Why don't you go get this rent money right now? It's the rent that's the biggest, then the utilities, and then the stimulus check. There's also money for food, and then also if you have young children under 16 years of age, consider toys from Toys for Tots, United Way, or Salvation Army. Finally, if you've gone through all this and can't find these items, go to the community page. The community page is news.lalate.com/community. It's linked in most of the videos of this channel. It features a image with some cute little pets at the top of the page. Then the volunteers are separated by Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So use the platform you like. You reach out to them by sending them a communication, by sending them a message. Hi. You already know who they are. So it sends you it has a link right into their Instagram account, a link right to their Facebook account. So you send them a message. Say, hi, I need help with New York rent. This is what you do not do. You do not sit back and say, can someone come and help me? Can someone come and help me? I've been detailing a lot, and I'm going to detail it right now, that there's a lot of very bad organizational crime operations out there. And they're looking to places and persons that are posting on Twitter and Facebook and things like that for people saying, I'm in help, I need help with my rent. What they're literally doing is running a scheme to get you to WhatsApp them, to get you to send them a Bitcoin thing. So if anyone asks you to text them, if anyone asks you to WhatsApp them, if anyone asks you to do something about Bitcoin, it's a scam. In fact, you should not respond to any third party that reaches out to you. You should, again, not respond to any third party who reaches out to you to provide you stimulus relief. There's very bad people out there. And it's unfortunate in these times of need that people are trying to make a buck by scheming someone else out of something as well. throughout the day, there's going to be a lot of updates. You're going to see potentially the bill. You're going to see potentially the 4-person deal. You're going to see the battle over the vote. You're going to see the House battle over the vote, whether they fold up like a bunch of lawn chairs again, whether the Senate folds up like a bunch of lawn chairs again. And then you're going to see what the president's going to do. The president may veto it. The president may not veto it. Bernie Sanders may vote against it. Josh Hawley may vote against it. You're going to see what happens. Ultimately, the more people that vote against something, the more likelihood that the thing will never get passed from the president if he vetoes it. And yes, to answer your questions, he can still do executive orders. He has the money. He's the $800 billion of CARES Act 1 money is still there. He can still repurpose that money. He can still send it out. The question is when and how. No, the question is not how. The question is when and why have you not done it so far? With that, there's so much hitting across the board. Make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. See you at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Mornings LA. That'll be the big broadcast. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay at LA for more.